The documentary, it's going to cover the Burrell Shipley era of the USL Ragin' Cajuns from 1957 and 1973. Through that time, the Cajuns rose to be one of the most, the high-flying, exciting Ragin' Cajuns, got to be one of the most powerful, exciting teams in the country, throughout that period. And there's a lot of controversy in how they achieved their status, along with them integrating the Deep South. USL was the first college in the Deep South to give black athletes scholarships. So they broke the color barrier not once but twice. They also did it the year before in playing in the Deep South's first integrated game with their all-white team in the national championship for the NAIA. We're going to cover that era. We're going to cover the good, the bad, the controversy, the fallout, and kind of where the Cajuns are now. I was just looking and looking and looking for the right piece to do, and this one just kind of plopped in my lap, through my dad and through, what him being an usher in Blackham during those days in the 70s. And about 2007, we said, man, this is it, let's do this. And this year in 2011, in January, we ran out of excuses not to do it. And we looked Burrell up, and I didn't even know Burrell still lived in Lafayette. And we found him, and he said, yeah, sure, come tomorrow, because I start chemo on Monday.
Burrell said, hell with it all. He said, I'm here to play basketball.
They said I couldn't do it, but we did do it. We broke the barrier, then they got after me pretty good.
Burrell Shipley was a life-changer kind of guy. He was so intense, and yet at the same time, he was so tender and loving that we were terrified when we walked in to meet him for the first time, and once we walked in, he said, oh, come on in, boy, and sit down. And after I had talked with Burrell for about 5 minutes, it was like I'd known him my whole life. And we became very close, and in fact, I was really honored that we were the last people that got to visit with him on the day that he died. Tonight is, we're trying to tip off the Burrell Shipley Classic Week. They're bringing back the Bayou Classic tournament. He started in the 60s, and the university is naming it after Burrell. They're naming it the Shipley Classic. We've been wanting to do this event. This is our major fundraiser for the documentary for some time now. And whenever we heard about the tournament and they called us and said, hey, we're doing it, it was a no-brainer. We had to go that Wednesday. So tonight is a night to pay tribute to Burrell and everything he's done, not only for us, but for the community, for the city, for the sport of basketball, just for Cajun pride, and this is also going to be the one night that we're going to try to get over the financial hump, that's, so we can get into those major festivals, the Sundance, the South by Southwest, the Tribecas, because we're going to need some cash flow to hit those technical standards, and I think tonight's going to do it for us, so we're excited. This is our first major project. We've done a lot of creative projects before, design, web, commercial projects, things like that. But this is our first major on-taking, and I laugh and I'm like, wow, we really bit off a chunk on this one. But I think it's good to put yourself in those vulnerable positions, because you come out a lot stronger. Filmmaking in Lafayette is a lot easier than people think and a lot harder than people would imagine at the same time. It's this strange thing that there's a lot available to you with modern technology and I mean, just the digital services that people have available. So it is a level playing field, and the cost of entry is so low now with technology, but there's still, you have to make your own way. You have to make your own path, and really, it's really up to you to get it done. And I mean, that's true of anywhere you go, but I always say I'd much rather stay in this LA than the other LA out west. Louisiana's much cooler than Los Angeles, so we'll just stay here.
He had a team that generated pride, the Ragin' Cajuns. People would have never heard of the Ragin' Cajuns had it not been for Burrell Shipley and USL.
We wanted to bring it all back to Lafayette because this is the greatest place and the greatest area in the United States of America.
For fans of the film, they can follow us with daily updates on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. And for content updates and production updates, they can always visit lightsoutinblackham.com and stay up to date with everything. We have multimedia there, photos, behind the scenes, stuff like that. Anything you want to know, you can get in those 3 places.